Obviously, proud of the fight our guys showed. We knew it would be a tough game. We kind of were hoping it would be a game to unfold with a lower score. In the end, I think we got the better of them in the trenches, and we finished. So, any questions?
From 17 to 3, what just changed?
Well, when you look at the first half, we lined up illegally. We had a false start. We had 2 or 3 MEs. And I said to him at halftime, I thought defensively we were playing well. I said, man, we talked about the game we had to play coming in here, and we're not doing it. So I think we had some – look, we knew it wasn't going to be 6, 7 yards a carry. It's a good run defense. But, we got to keep, kind of hitting that bag, and I thought we did. I thought we controlled most of the fourth quarter.
Talk about your decision to go for 2, and as the drive was unfolding, were you thinking of that?
No. Well, number one, we felt situationally with time left on the clock. We came here to win a game. And I had 2 or 3 calls that I loved. So sometimes you use those calls, inside the 5. But we got to a call that I had a lot of confidence in, and the guys executed. It was perfect. But we felt, I think there were 7.5 minutes. Let's do that. Let's keep being aggressive. And I regret one call at the very end, the last call on 3rd down. We had another one that would have been perfect. We settled for the field goal and then played real good defense. So good win.
You wanted these big games, Sean, for these guys. What does it say about your players when you want this game and then they kind of turn around and deliver like this?
I think you always get a chance to see where you're at, and we talked a lot about it. One of the challenges is playing this game before you go to London. You guys have heard me say it. The away teams before London, it's not real good. So it wasn't in the itineraries. There was not one thing about the L word, nothing. I said something about bring an extra bag Friday, and that's it. And then we'll figure out. So, because it's very easy to get caught up in, if you're not careful, the next week. And the focus needed to be on today. And then you're coming off a Monday night. There were a lot of reasons. You could say you weren't going to be successful, but our guys did a good job of preparing. And I think the locker room prior to today felt like this was going to be the result. I mean, I've done this long enough. I've got pretty good instincts. And then, as a coach, you're waiting to see. And at halftime, I felt really good. Despite the unsuccessful drives offensively, I loved where we were at.
Sean, the way that you guys kind of corralled Jalen Hurts, rushing him, but then also when he did get out, kind of cutting that off. What was just your overall impression of how you guys handled that?
I thought overall we did a great job. We had a ticky-tack interference call. And then, man, I don't know what happened towards the end of that first half, but I thought, look, he's going to make some plays. He's a tremendous player. They threw it quite a bit early. But the rushing numbers, when it was all said and done, I'm not sure what the totals were, but we felt if we could do that, and the turnover thing had to be at least even. And so you saw both teams protect the ball well. We kicked a cover at the end. Analytically, that's what you're supposed to do. But I challenged the coverage unit because the return prior came out to the 40-some yard line. It was a good win.
What does this fourth quarter say about Bo Nix? 9 for 10 in the fourth quarter, 3.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's a competitor. There were a handful of plays in the first half that I know he'd want back. And look, the delay of game was my fault, spitting it out. But that all being said, man, you can feel his leadership when it matters. And then you can feel the confidence, with his teammates when it matters. So he played exceptional in the second half.
Shot so often, Bill Parcells, his influence on
Yeah.
To pass him in all-time wins with the win like today, are you thinking about just how?
Yeah, listen, he and I spoke this past week, and like no one keeps track of that kind of stuff. And then he was just getting back from being put, I think, in the Patriots Ring of Honor. He shared a lot of memories about coaching in this division because he coached in it forever. And, that was Gibbs in Washington. That was Landry. That was Vermeil. Like, man, that was a salty division, still is. But obviously, and I was talking to him about coming to Philly and he agreed. He talked about going to Washington, in that old stadium. When you play a tough opponent like Philly on the road, I told our team, I said, look, you're going to forget the money, the car, all that stuff, but you're not going to forget just these moments. This trip over to London now. Ultimately, that's what you do it for. You're making memories. Yeah, Mr. Penner did, and it meant a lot. I told the team what I just told you. I said I just had spoken to Bill, but there are a number of people when we watch this tape, I'm sure that'll get game balls, but to get it here, I grew up here as a kid. My first NFL job was here, 1997, 98, and grew up on the Flyers, the Eagles, Sixers, give you all the lineups. But there's a lot of respect we have for this team, this coaching staff, and the team we just played. Zach Bond, shoot. There are a number of these guys that, this is a team that just won the Super Bowl, so it was a good win.
They made so much of their living in this stretch at the line of scrimmage and playing out.
Yeah.
How much does it mean to be able to, come here, like you say, control the line of scrimmage?
It's pretty good. Yeah, it's a good team, and so the thing we did was, when you play someone like that, you're going to get punched, and it's not going to be easy. But we kept fighting, and that's what I was most encouraged about. Just the fight, the grit, and then you felt that this is a funny thing, that momentum shifted, and when that happened, it's pretty powerful.
Does running the ball help settle ball down?
Well, it helps any quarterback. If you're a QB and you're playing good defense, your job is a little better, and you're running the ball, your job's. But if you're giving up points, and not, you're asking him to be on the high dive the whole game. So I think when you're able to run it, it's going to help your play action. Sure enough, we hit the tight end on a spear route off a play action. Like, it all kind of fits together, and you're on schedule. So at the top of my call sheet was, I knew that we weren't going to have the same run outcomes, but it's kind of like you don't get an immediate response, but you know that ultimately it's effective.
18 points straight, unanswered points, fourth quarter, on the road, hostile environment. What kind of a boost kind of game is this?
Well, it's a great question because we talked about it. I said, look, you don't get a chance to play in these games that have a ton of upside. Now, don't get me wrong, there's downside, but there's a ton of upside relative to defining like what you become, and this is one of them. And I think they were confident coming in. I asked them afterwards, "Who are you afraid of?" And this is a league this is a fine line between a groove and a rut, and it was a good win.
Sean, on going to London, I know it's a business trip. How much will it be like a regular practice week? How much?
It's going to be exactly like a practice week. Exactly. Do you want the schedule?
No.
No sightseeing.
Okay.
You know where we're staying?
Okay.
In the middle of nowhere. No sightseeing.
Okay.
God, I was having a good press conference.
You go what is the rest of this?
Honestly, fair question. So we get in Monday. Tomorrow morning, we will run, lift, work out, watch the tape. They're off Tuesday. We've got this schedule down pat. Wednesday will be day one. Thursday, third down. So that's the reason for going over. But it'll be the last time There's 2 other times we've gone on this trip. Once, Shockey tried to get all the passports and take the team to Amsterdam. So we put the kibosh on that. Played the Chargers, I think, one year, 07, 08. And then played the Dolphins, 17 or 18. But we're going to be, the guys will have some dinner, I'm sure, but we're going to be, we're going to go, it's a normal work week. So, but we're a ways out. And go ahead.
Looks like you guys found something that doesn't even run there in that second half. What do
I got pissed at him, and he was pissed at me.
what do you guys say?
Then nothing. I just got after him a little just because I knew that he hadn't gotten the touches, so I didn't, And then it was like, all right, let's find these throws real quick. And he responded, and it was kind of a good thing. But we got to listen. He's a great weapon. He made some big plays. Obviously, the touchdown. He's not the primary. Guys in the quarterback's face. He made some big plays for us.
Nick made like 2.5 sacks in this game. Just how much has he developed, and what type of player is he?
He's a super pass rusher. You guys have seen the confidence just grow and grow with him. It's a good offensive line. It's a quarterback that's hard to sack, so I'm glad he's on our team.
Trying to go back to the 2-point conversion, play that was Troy in the receiving game.
Yeah.
What do you like about that connection? I know they've had that.
He's got really, a lot was made of that. I don't think, respectfully, I think when you come from college, and I know they were teammates, but there's a whole different, we knew we were going to get the matchup opposite of Cortland. All right, so we knew 27 was traveling with Cortland there, and Troy's got a really, really good first step. So when you watch the route, it's one jab, and it's the quickest, and he was fantastic on it. It was a good throw. It's a throw you got to make on the run. So we felt good about that one. Sometimes you play a game and you got like 4 other calls that you would love to have gotten to, then we won't play these guys with that defense for another. And they just kind of float away. There were 2 others, but that was one of them.
With the Dobbins touchdown run, that was from a similar. Was that one of them too, or you?
No, that even what I had all of them. Listen, it's frustrating when you don't get to use them.
Sean, obviously you get the win here today in Philly, but the manner in which you failed earlier in Indianapolis and Los Angeles, the way they played today had to have been
Getting better.
so gratifying.
Yeah, getting better. Those are tough losses, and when you lose on the last play like that, it is what it is, and we just knew we had to get better at closing games out. I thought we played really well in the fourth quarter today, and finished the game.
Sean, what's allowed Cortland Sutton to be so effective on 3rd down?
He's got strong hands in traffic. The play he made to get us into field, that was a huge 3rd down catch and throw. His confidence, and Bo and he now have, been together for, a good year and a half, 2 years. You can feel it. Like, I knew he was throwing that ball to Sutton on that 3rd down. And, it was a good throw and a good catch by Cortland. So he's a terrific player.
Any doubt when Hurts' last pass goes up and we're knocking it down?
You're always we handled that game correctly at the end. Thought we did a great job.